Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound, up and in! 1 point more to go!
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field, back toward the wall, gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
We welcome you into the Country Financial Studio. Alex Simpson's here today, and Alex was ready to write something on his patented whiteboard hand, and then I don't even know what happened. He just got up and stormed out, so something happened. He'll have an update for us, I guess, during the break. In any case, it's Athletic Director Tuesday. Deputy Athletic Director Eric Roedl is here. Hi, Eric. How are you? You having a good day?
Awesome, Joey. Great to be here with you.
Hey.
Happy to help you fill some airtime here,
Thank you.
especially now that Alex has abandoned you.
Yeah, well, you know, he's a Dodgers fan, Eric. It's unfortunate for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not a Dodgers fan. Hey, I got an off-the-wall, out-of-left-field question for you to start. And normally I send over, like, talking points, just some ideas of what we'll talk about today. And I forgot to include this, so you're going to have to bear with me for a second. So our new senior women's administrator, fondly how I refer to many of the corner office folks like yourself that are all in the corner offices of the Casanova Center. Well, Val's going to make her debut on Duck Insider next week, Eric. What should I ask her?
Oh, boy. Well, she'll bring some energy.
Yeah?
She's got plenty of that.
Yeah?
And she'll be very excited, I'm sure, to join you.
Or
Val,
if not, she'll be nice to lie
she
about it.
might take over the show for you.
That's
She's
great.
got some energy.
That's great. I'm in.
No, I mean, Val's got a history here in Oregon and the time at Portland State. She's got a daughter here on campus, and she's all about the student athlete. She's her energy, her passion will come through.
Okay. All right. So that's the second time that I've asked that question, and the response has been, well, she's just going to bring a lot of energy. You just got to be ready. So I'm ready for that. But what do you wish as go back to the first time you ever did an interview with me? What should I have asked you in the first interview that you ever did on Duck Insider?
I don't know. You probably asked me, but
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. It's been a while.
No, I think you're just you're feeling it out. You're
Yeah.
getting to know that person.
That's
You
right.
know what their responsibilities are, what they're all about. Maybe hit a little professional, a little personal,
Yeah.
have a little bit of fun. Usually touch all those areas.
Okay,
So I
all right.
think you're good.
Okay, I like that. Deputy Athletic Director Eric Roedl joining us. We're going to review football season, National Signing Day events, basketball season, baseball season, tennis, a lot to cover, so we're going to do that. Also coming up today, it is Tip-Off Tuesday, basketball coaches show this afternoon. Kelly Graves and then Director of Player Personnel and Development, Kevin McKenna, will be with us on Tip-Off Tuesday, as well as India Rogers, our featured student athlete this week. Also, I have big news to share. Patrick McMahon, the president of the Oregon Pit Crew, is coming on the show today.
Awesome.
What should I ask him, Eric?
How do we keep building that student base?
I like that.
I mean, that's their mission, right? And they've done an awesome job. I mean, we had a great football season. The students brought the energy, and we got to keep cranking it up. And our basketball teams need it down the stretch.
Do you have any memories that stick out of, like, best Pit Crew environments over your time at Oregon?
Oh, I don't know. There's been a bunch of them.
Yeah.
We've had a couple good court storms.
Yeah.
The one last week, with Arizona, I don't know if I'd call that a storm, but
I think it was a mild rain.
I just, I think my favorite is, those night football games when the students are really cranked up, and you can just kind of feel the energy, when you're down there on the sideline right in front of them and you're doing your pregame lead up, you can just kind of feel that energy, and that's what the pit crew is all about.
Yeah, my favorites are when I get comments and I can hear what the pit crew's saying, and it just makes me laugh. It happens frequently. Some of the signs over the years have been great. The creativity, I think, for a student section is what always sticks out to me, whether it be the pit crew, whether it be an opposing student section. The creativity and the detail that they get into is what makes it kind of special, I think.
Yeah, they've done some fun things with recruits on visits and, just things to make kids feel at home, feel special, feel wanted.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's all about. All right, we haven't had you on since football season came to a close. Review the season for us.
Yeah, 10-win season. I think I had heard it was maybe our 13th
That's
of
right.
all time, 10-win
That's right.
season. So,
and all of them in the last 22 years.
Yeah, looking at it through a historical lens, it was a really good year. Capping it off with an exciting bowl win. Had a great experience down there at the Holiday Bowl. Just looking back on the year, great energy throughout the season at Autzen. Getting College Game Day in there for UCLA, really selling that game out, standing room only crowd. Again, just week in, week out, especially at Autzen, we had great support from our fans, from our students, and the trajectory of the program is really strong right now. And I think on the field, Coach Lanning and the new staff came in and really set the standard of what they're looking for out of our student athletes, and then off the field and recruiting and the type of student athlete that they want to bring in. And they've picked up, kind of where the program left off, and we're excited about the future. And we talk about National Signing Day and some of the events coming up over the next couple weeks. There's just a lot of energy around the program right now, and the standard is really high. This staff is working their tails off. We're here to win championships.
GoDucks.com/NSD23 for more details on signing day, the events, one in Portland and then the following week, one in Eugene. If you missed it yesterday, Matt Broders from the Duck Athletic Fund was on, and he gave the details, everything that you need to know, so check that out from Duck Insider yesterday. Those are a big deal, Eric. Whether signing day is now not as large as it was before because of the early signing day, it's still the completion of the class, and it's sort of a celebration of the program and the program's future every year.
Absolutely. I think signing day has evolved over the last few years, and obviously with early signing day, and then you've got your February signing day, and the impact of the transfer portal, some of the legislative changes that have happened now where, instead of being locked into a maximum incoming class of 25 now, you can bring in 35 or 40. You've got 85 scholarships, and you've got the ability to fill out your entire roster. So there have been some real significant changes that have maybe changed the way recruiting works a little bit and kind of how it builds up to signing day traditionally. But our fan base is really engaged in recruiting. I think they get very excited. There's a lot of social media and multimedia around recruiting, obviously, and people follow it very closely. So, yeah, we celebrate recruiting on National Signing Day, but I think you touched on the bigger point. National Signing Day is really about celebrating Oregon football and where we are as a program. I love that we bring back so many former football student athletes, and that so many former football student athletes want to come and be a part of that. Our coaches, our staff, our current team. You're bringing, 600-700 people together up there on the Nike campus up in Portland, and it's an incredible event. You can still go out and buy a ticket, I believe, for that event on our website, as well as the event the following week, I believe on Tuesday, February 7th at Matthew Knight Arena. And we're going to kind of replicate to some degree, the Portland event down here and get people excited. And if you're not signed up, come out and be a part of it.
A lot of people have been asking me about the change from a luncheon on signing day in Eugene and then the evening event in Portland. And the truth is that it just gives us a chance to space it out for the fan base a little bit. You can do the signing day event in Portland on signing day next Wednesday, and then the following Tuesday at Matthew Knight Arena, which, by the way, when Matthew Knight Arena gets done up for an event, it's pretty amazing, honestly, to see. Like, it's a cool deal when you're out there on the floor, and it's really set up well for big-time events. So that's what's on the horizon. GoDucks.com/NSD23. There's also an auction coming up that starts within the next week, and more details will be there. I'm told that they're even giving away following me around for a game, Eric. So I don't know. We'll see how that works.
That might
out.
be our biggest item,
No,
Joey.
God,
let's
I
go.
hope not. God, I hope not. How would they follow you around for a day?
That wouldn't be too exciting.
I don't know
Just
about that.
putting out fires or dealing with things that aren't a whole lot of fun.
So that's the day-to-day. I hope not. God, I hope not, Eric. You know what? That's actually an interesting point. Like, do you have maybe this is a hard question to ask because, like, in a 40-hour work week, which I know you work probably more like 90, but in a 40-hour work week, how many of those hours are like you know what to expect versus nope, had no idea that was happening today?
Some weeks more than others. You just never know what's coming. But, there's a cycle. To each year, to each month, to each week, really, it's cyclical and really depends on the time of year and what's going on. And but that's one of the things that we all love the most about working in college athletics is that there's so much versatility and diversity to each day and to each experience. And the most fun part about all this is engagement with student athletes and with the community, and just finding ways to get people passionate and inspired to support our programs.
Well, and it's a constant challenge. That's what I like about it. It doesn't get old because it does change season to season, but there's always something new with the evolution of college athletics, and it's not gonna stop changing anytime soon, is it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, we just saw the transformation committee and some of the things that the D1 Council approved a couple weeks ago, and how that's going to continue to change how we do things, how we support student athletes, the types of things that we're allowed to do to support our programs. And we're in an environment where things are being more and more deregulated. In the past, you had the NCAA kind of doing its best to create a level playing field and legislate competitive equity. And now you see deregulation and leaving those decisions more to the schools or maybe to the conferences that they're a part of. So that's why resources continue to become more and more important if we want to compete at the very highest level.
Deputy Athletic Director Eric Roedl joining us. I always have to ask you something about the football schedule, it seems like, every time you come on. About every 5-6 weeks, Eric comes on, and it seems like about every 5-6 weeks we've got something new to talk about. Well, we've got a Pac-12 schedule for next year. We now know the entire Oregon football schedule for next year. We've talked about it. It's a great home schedule. That's an exciting point every time the schedule comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you really build your fall around that in many ways, and we've got some great teams coming into Autzen next year. I mean, getting Colorado in here early in the Pac-12 season will be exciting. And
first Pac-12 game for Coach Prime is at Autzen.
That's right.
Give him a nice welcome.
And we're going to have to give him a warm Autzen welcome.
That's right.
And we've got USC coming in here for the last time as a part of the Pac-12.
Wild.
We've got the Beavs coming back. So we've got a lot of work to do in Autzen next year.
Nuts and bolts question for you, Eric. What is the process for the schedule each year? Like, it does change a little bit when it gets released. I know there's an approval process. Walk us through that. How does that all get sorted out?
Well, there's preset criteria that the conference is going to follow when they establish it in terms of, number of consecutive weeks a school has to play, or number of consecutive home or away games that a school has to play. You have to figure out how to build the conference schedule around the non-conference games that have been scheduled. So they work with some experts on building out some different models, and then they'll put those models out to the athletic directors who will share them with like sport administrators or somebody like myself and maybe the head coach, and you review those models and you evaluate them in terms of how it sets up for you, and you hope that the model that you like is the one that's preferred by the majority. And then sometimes none of the models really work for whatever reason, and you go back and refine it a little bit more. So it's a process. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others.
Is this like there's 5 models and everybody gets to vote? I mean, does it change year to year?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's 5. Yeah. Usually there's just a few that you're looking at. And, again, I think you've got to just evaluate how each of those look for you, and you hope that that's where the majority sits.
It's a giant game of Tetris.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, obviously on the non-conference front, we're always looking at the future. And right now, I'd say, we're trying to get a sense of, I probably mentioned this the last time I was on, but, what does the new CFP structure look like? And how is that going to impact non-conference scheduling and, the types of challenges that you want to set up for yourself?
Well, and in the past, too, and Oregon was an example of this. When conference changes happen, right, it can change the non-conference scheduling. So I'd imagine that's even a bigger puzzle than it's been in years past.
Yeah, I mean, the Pac-12's going to 10 schools, so right now there's no changes. Nothing's been other than some of the decisions that were already made in terms of divisions. But right now, we're still at a 9-game conference schedule, and we'll continue to plan that way.
All right. Eric Roedl, Deputy Athletic Director, joining us. I haven't talked basketball yet. We're going to do that. Baseball season's on the horizon. That's all coming up. Stick with us. More Duck Insider after this on the Oregon Sports Network. Send more coffee on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
It's time for today's STEM tip. Okay, you know recycling is important. No one wants plastic in the ocean. Here's a cool way to repurpose a plastic bottle. Build an awesome terrarium. Cut a large plastic bottle in half and fill the base with sand, pebbles, potting soil, and your favorite plant. I chose an African violet. Put the top of the bottle over your base and place it in the sun. Your plant will grow sealed in its own ecosystem. Fun, right? Learn more at She Can STEM. A message from the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Eric Roedl, Deputy Athletic Director, with us. Alex Stimson, I have somebody who said they would send more coffee, so we've got that going for us. That's great. Whatever the order is, I guess, let me know during the next break, huh? Okay, good. So Alex is... He's survived. Basketball season. This is a big week. You know, every week's big now that we're into the conference season, but especially I think with the resume taking a few hits, there's no secret about that for Oregon men's basketball, avenging a road loss to Colorado and continuing a little momentum against Utah. That's going to be a key. This is a big week for Oregon men's basketball at home.
Yeah, huge week. And, I think we've got 11 games, conference games left, so there's still a lot of time to get some momentum and really make some statement wins. But, like you said, every game is huge at this point.
Yeah. 6 o'clock coming up for Colorado, and then a 5 o'clock Saturday tip-off. So Thursday and Saturday, 5 o'clock Saturday tip-off against Utah. To give you a preview of tip-off Tuesday, Kevin McKenna said that the Colorado game on the road was the worst that Oregon's played all year. At home, it'll be different. I'm going to will that into existence here coming up against Colorado. You know, this won't surprise you, Eric, but every time I think about it, I'm a little amazed. The 2 longest tenured head coaches in the league, Dana Altman, 13th year, Tad Boyle, 13th year at Colorado, which makes, by my count, Kevin McKenna the longest tenured staff member in the Pac-12 who's not a head coach. Pretty cool.
Yeah, unless somebody were retained, but
right.
on the Colorado side.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Tad's done an amazing job at Colorado over the years, and they've always given us plenty of challenges. And like every game's a huge opportunity now from here on out. And I think our coaches, certainly our student athletes, all know that. And we need our community, we need our season ticket holders, our students, everybody to come out and create the best atmosphere we can down the stretch.
Well, I was talking about this, Eric, a lot. And, I understand that when the team is struggling, you might be like, I might stay home today. Well, when the team's struggling, you can make a difference with that home court advantage. We've seen this happen before where things turn quickly during a basketball season. Still can do that.
No question. And, both on the men's and the women's side, we have, very talented, exciting programs to watch. It's an exciting brand of basketball. Yeah. And, I think our teams, we've gone cold shooting in some of these games, which has really hurt us. But it's a very athletic, exciting brand of basketball to watch.
Yeah, sometime the shots are going to go in. They have to, right? Talking with the coaches, 25 of the 33s they felt like were good shots against Stanford. And not 25 of them went in. It's got to just be one of those things where the floodgates open. That's at least how I feel moving forward. For both maybe the men and the women, especially because, unfortunately, there were a lot of similarities between the two games this past weekend where it got down early, big comebacks, but then it just ended up being too little too late. So there could be a turning point here, I think, for both of these squads.
Yeah, no doubt. And there's still plenty of basketball left to be played and great opportunities. And I think on the men's side, we've got 6 of our final 11 at home. Is that right, Joey?
I think so, yeah.
And then on the women's side, I think they've got 4 out of 10 at home. So bunch of home basketball games left. So let's get out and create the best atmosphere we can.
Yeah, going to Arizona next week and then back against the LA schools for the men. And then it's that weird Wednesday-Sunday trip where it's Washington on a Wednesday night, Washington State on a Sunday night for Oregon men's basketball, and then on the road in Corvallis. So good math. Good math. It's like you're a scheduling guy.
Maybe.
You keep track
a
of
little, just enough to be dangerous, I know.
Well, that's my motto right there in a nutshell. Eric Roedl, Deputy Athletic Director, with us. Earlier today, we also talked with Mark Wazakowski and a number of Oregon baseball student athletes because baseball practice is getting underway. And then before you know it, it's going to be baseball season. You're the sport administrator for that sport as well. I'm excited for this baseball season. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun team to watch. I think we're going to see a lot of explosive offense at the plate, and I know we've got some good arms lined up as well, and great trajectory with this program over the last couple of years, and hosting a regional back in 2021, and the type of success that we had that year, and last year we continued to build on it. Another great year, and again, we talked about standards when we were talking about football, and Coach Waz has as high a standard as anybody on a daily basis, and he's really helped make a difference, and the approach with our student athletes, and we're real excited about the upcoming season. I know we've got Xavier coming into town for 4 games, and I believe that's February, what is it? 17th. Yeah, so the weather that day, I think, is 68 and sunny.
Yeah.
And let's fill up PK and welcome Xavier to the Northwest.
I like that. And then it's a doubleheader on Saturday. That Saturday where, again, Oregon basketball is on the road that weekend, so it factors in well. I'm looking forward to it, though. Friday, 3 o'clock on the 17th is first pitch for Oregon baseball. I'll be there for that game, then traveling to Pullman on Saturday with Oregon basketball. So Jordan Brenner will have you covered. But, yeah, this is the overlap season. This is where things get a little crazy and a little bit fun because you get the excitement from spring sports starting, but then basketball season heading down the stretch. There's a lot of adrenaline for me. I imagine there is for you, too, during that period of time.
Absolutely, and one of the things, you were talking about the day-to-day and the excitement, and I kind of joked about putting out fires, but one of the things that's the most fun about working in athletics is just the competitiveness of it. And every day you're competing in some aspect, whether it's with our programs on the field or just us trying to get better as a department, and that's what makes it fun.
You are probably like me, where going to practice is one of like the best things to do, just because you get to know the student athletes a little bit better. You know, like at baseball when they're scrimmaging and there's a chance for me to actually interact with people, like that's when I'm always reminded that this is a fun deal, you know, that you just get to go and enjoy the competitiveness of a practice.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into supporting these programs, but being visible, being present, building those relationships it's a really important part of it.
Talking about the start of seasons, so far undefeated on the tennis courts. Nice to see for both the men and the women. Let's start with the women, actually, starting out the season well.
Yeah, absolutely. They had a great year last year, first NCAA postseason since, I think, 2018. And most of their lineup back. Got some good young talent as well that's joined the roster. So, you know, they're heading out this week. They're going to Oklahoma State, and they were part of the ITA kickoff. Both programs are part of that tournament this weekend. So they'll both see some challenges. Most of the programs that are in the ITA kickoff, it's a 64 team bracket basically, and there's 16 regional sites, and most of those teams are NCAA teams or NCAA caliber teams. So good early test for both programs, and excited to see how they do.
On the men's side, of course, Coach Schielander already has been in the studio and reminded us when the Ducks play the Huskies. But meanwhile, off to a good start on the men's side.
Did he say the Huskies, or did he just call them the Purple?
He actually did say the Huskies.
Okay.
Now that I think about that,
I don't know if I've ever heard him say that word.
Yeah, he might have just said Washington. Actually, we're gonna have to go back to the tape. We might have to go back to the tape. Yeah, he also. So you'll get a kick out of this. I asked him, as the longest tenured head coach in the department, what's the longest tenured piece of gear that he still has? He says that he's got some from early in his tenure that he's going to bust out for us.
I don't think he's going to rival Coach Rad, though.
So that's what I said. Like, you can't be like Coach Rad. You want to know what Coach Schielander called Coach Rad? He said he's a walking Oregon garage sale. So Coach Rad.
Well put.
Coach Rad, it wasn't me that said it.
Well put.
Please just know that. But yeah, I mean, Coach Rad is legendary.
His tracksuits.
Oh,
no doubt.
I want to know how he, in all of his time, has never had an accident that stained some of them, or he's got a great equipment guy to get the stains out. Maybe both.
Well, he's kept himself probably in the same shape within a pound for about 35 years, and he's got every last one of those warm-ups, and he's the man.
It's so great. So great. Anyway, that's what Coach Schielander brings to the table. One of many things. Whenever we talk to him,
he's become a Swedish cowboy. Coach Schielander.
That's true. We talked about that.
Yeah.
He gave me some fatherly advice, and I'll keep it to myself for now until we get Coach Schielander back in the studio. Anything else, Eric? Before I let you go, anything else fans should know?
No, just thanks for having me. And this is, as you said, it's a fun time of year. There's a lot of things overlapping right now, and let's get out and support the Ducks in any way that you can, and let's keep the momentum going.
Next opportunity is 6 o'clock on Thursday at Matthew Knight Arena for Oregon men's basketball against Colorado. Eric, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joey.
Let you get back to your actual job. So thank you for that. Putting out a fire today? Have you had to do that yet?
No, and I want to keep it that way.
The day is young. Coming up, we've got updates on the schedule ahead. Also talking pit crew. That's right. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. From one guest to another, you got a tough act to follow. That's the Deputy Athletic Director who warmed up the seat for you. Patrick McMahon is here from the Oregon Pit Crew. Should we just call you El Presidente?
No.
No, we don't like that?
You can call me Patrick or Patty.
Okay.
Whatever.
Well, what do people call you? I mean,
Patty. I get I've gotten the Patty Ball, like LeVar Ball,
okay.
LiAngelo, like
Interesting.
that. Patty works though, but yeah, Presidente. I don't know. I don't like to go by president. I feel weird.
But you are the president of the Oregon Pit Crew.
I guess it feels like I'm not, but I am. I suppose.
Okay. Are you familiar with our? I don't know what this is now. Is it a tradition, Scotty? It's a tradition. It's a requirement.
Okay.
Anybody who comes on the show for the first time, they have to tell their 2-minute life story.
Oh wow!
So nobody briefed you on this.
Ethan, shout out Ethan Hartley. He did not brief me on this.
Yeah, I think Ethan did his job right. Ethan is a member of the Pit Crew leadership group and also one of our interns who was in here yesterday. So Ethan, I appreciate that you did not give Patrick a heads up on this. I've got a stopwatch.
Oh, okay.
There's a
Wow,
leaderboard.
Oh.
Okay, so you're competitive, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you want to win.
Yeah, exactly.
So as close to 2 minutes as possible. What's your 2-minute life story? Go.
Well, I'm from Bend. I have been a Ducks fan since I was like 10. I was
10?
Yeah. I was actually a Beaver fan before that for a few years. I know I might get booed for that.
You're going to get booed for that.
My mom was a big Beaver fan. She went to she lived around the area, the Corvallis area.
Okay.
But we converted her into being a Duck fan, and now she's probably watching right now and is, I guess, converted. She has season tickets now, so
we'll take it.
I wanted to be a sports journalist for a long time since I was like 15 in high school. Now I'm an accounting major. So
smart decision.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm the president. I started in the Pit Crew like as soon as I got on campus. I was in a board position last year. I didn't really have a title. There was a revolving title. I don't really remember. Secretary of Defense. I don't know what I was defending, but I think I did okay enough to be the president now. I'm the O-Chain guy. I'm sure you've heard about the O-Chain.
Yeah. I see it every now and then. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
What do I get to know what time I'm at right
now?
No. Oh man. What else to know? I really like Oregon sports. Obviously, I've been in the arena quite a few times. I've been at football for quite a few big games. Basketball, I was there when Dylan Brooks hit that shot in late 2016. That was a highlight. I'm pretty big into music. I love hip hop. I do album reviews on my Snapchat story.
There you go.
I figured I'd got to fill some airtime, so I figured I'd throw that in there. Let's see, what else? I met Outkast at a football game. That was really cool.
What you identify as part of your life story, I'm fascinated by this.
Just a little bit of everything, you know. What else? I ran cross country in high school.
Okay.
If that's something Are you going to tell me when it's 2 minutes, or am I just going to stop?
No, it's your story, so it's over when you tell me.
Let me make sure I got everything. I think that's everything. I don't know. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
That's the last part of my life story up to today.
2 minutes, 20 seconds.
No, I should have stopped earlier.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Well, and I'll be honest. I mean, I interrupted you a few times. So subtract maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds. What's the committee's vote today? 10, 8,
15, 20.
10?
I'm on the 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So, okay, good. So you're from Bend.
Yes.
And was it a split household? Like, was Dad a Duck fan? Where did it start?
My dad really does not like football. Like, my mom loves having every game on, and my dad is like, please turn it off after the Oregon game. I do not care anymore.
Really? So what? How did you get here?
I think I was a product of the Oregon, the bandwagon, not the bandwagon per se, but the
rise of the athletic department.
The rise, yeah, in 2010, because all my friends were Oregon fans, and I was in like 4th grade, and I was like, oh, okay, like I'll check this out. Like I've been to a couple Beaver games. There's pictures out there of me in Beaver gear. I try to hide those,
scrub them from the internet. Yeah.
Yeah. But I actually remember. I remember in 6th grade I was a fan of both, and I was like, I went to a civil or at the time it was called Civil War, and now it's called the Rivalry Series. I went to a basketball game at Corvallis, and I was like, okay, whichever team wins, I'm gonna be a fan of. And I think I'm trying to remember who was on the team. I think it was like 2012, 2013. So I think they made the Sweet 16 that year. They played Louisville. And the Ducks won, so I was like, okay, there it is. I'm a fan, and I have been a devout fan ever since. I'm at almost every game. I watch on TV when I'm not at the games.
That is amazing how fandom can begin. I've heard similar stories though to that, which speaks a lot to what Oregon has become, I think, and how much the football program and really all the programs around here have grown. Patrick McMahon joining us for the Oregon Pit Crew. So part of why I wanted to have you on was a few different reasons. One, to talk about the Pit Crew and the fact that I think a lot of fans maybe don't realize that there is some legit organization that goes into to what you guys do. This isn't just a bunch of students walk into the arena or various facilities and just have a good time. There's some of that.
Yep.
But there's also some organization that goes into it. I want you to tell fans about that if you could. Like, what is the process? And especially, there was a couple years there where y'all weren't in the venues.
Yep.
And now it's been good to have you back.
Yeah. So when I started in 2019, there was a president, there was a vice president, and that was kind of it. There was a little bit of leadership structure, and then COVID happened, and we had 4 members, I think, entering the 2021-2022 school year. I was one of those, so they were like, hey, you're on the board now because you're one of 4 people, and everyone's on the board. So I kind of just lucked my way into this one. A lot of it is kind of new Ethan is our social media coordinator. We have Jared, who's our vice president. We have a couple other – we're working on finalizing the board still because we're still – working on figuring out the structure because a lot of it is just brand new. Because last year we didn't have very much leadership, and it was just kind of like there was just a mess because it was coming back from COVID. People didn't really know what the Pit Crew was. People didn't know the difference between the student section, the whole student section, like the Pit Crew, the organization. But yeah, so there's 3 board members right now, probably thinking about 5 or 6 by the end of the year. I'm trying to think what else we organize. We have we're trying to work on incentives to get people to stick around because we help plan. There's not a ton we're helping plan right now, but we're trying to get that going. Like, we're thinking of a lot of cool stuff for next year. Don't want to give away. Don't want to say something. And
well, but I want to say you guys work closely though with the Oregon marketing department, and so there is a lot of coordination that goes into how to engage with students, and that's. Look, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm 29 years old. I'm 30 years old now. I just turned 30, and so the Pit Crew when I was a student, it's a different audience now than it was then, and that's not that long of a period of time of change. But college students change over time, so that's why there is a constant communication, and I think it's great that we get a chance to celebrate that. And I feel like you're a great example of that. Like, you've seen it now in a couple different eras, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it since I was like at basketball games, like 2016. Like, I was like, I want to be in that. Like,
yeah.
that was my goal, and now I'm in
That's
that.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, we just organize we're having a pizza party with you might know this guy. His name's Dan Lanning. I don't know if you guys know him. Great guy. We're doing a pizza party with him. We're trying to work on just stuff like that to get people involved in the organization and just make the organization, like, honestly, if my dream world, it would be everybody that sits in a game is somehow involved in Pit Crew.
Right.
Right now we're at like 60 consistent members, I'd say, and last year we started with 4, ended with like 8 or 9.
So one question that I was kind of curious about, like I think about this from my time in school, like the connection from alumni of different student organizations, right? It's not just like the alumni association. The student organizations, I think, are really where you end up with a lot of your best connections. At least that's how it was for me. So what is the connection like from years past to the pit crew? Have you had a chance to talk with former members of the pit crew when they were students?
I've had a chance. I've talked to a few of them. I have talked to the president when I was a freshman. His name was Parker. I've talked with him a little bit because he gave me. He was the last O chain guy. He gave me the chain. I've talked with Isaiah Trong a little bit. There's been a couple presidents that I've had slight contact with. Some people in the past because we're working. They used to have a 3v3 basketball tournament in the past here on campus. We're thinking about bringing that back. So I've had long phone conversations with people about what that looked like, but not a ton. I hope that like when I become an alumni, like starting right now, like I can make those connections better and better with people, so then I can be like, hey, next president, here are tons of useful contacts, including myself, because the past leadership didn't really give that to me, so I kind of want to flip that around and make that a thing.
I love that. So here's the call out to any former members of the Oregon pit crew. Where can they get in touch with you?
My social media, @LaPattyBall, on any platform, everywhere.
Are DMs open on the pit crew social media as well?
Yes, they are. I am not on there a ton because I'm not a big social media guy, but I have.
That's what Ethan's for.
Exactly. Ethan's a big social media guy. He's on there often, so shout out Ethan again.
Thanks, Ethan. All right, I got to get a timeout. I got more for you.
Oh, I'm here for it.
So hang out, will you?
Absolutely.
Talking pit crew when we come back on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Patrick McMahon joining us. Does anybody call you Patrick except your mother?
I don't even think my mother does at this point. Everybody,
really?
My first nickname in like 8th grade was Patty McSparkles, and it kind of just evolved to Patty now. So everybody just calls me that.
Patty.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Patty it is. Am I in the circle? Am I in the inner circle? I can call you Patty now?
I mean, I've had random people call me Patty, so you're compared to a lot of people, you're in the inner circle.
All
so
right.
There you go.
I'm outer circle. That's fine.
Oh yeah, I get Rick a lot. Rick has come up a lot recently.
Yeah, why? I don't understand.
I don't remember how that one started. I think somebody just started saying it in high school. One of them, I go by. Some people call me Ricky Bags. I don't even know what that means.
Okay.
It just kind of started. I think it's hilarious.
Okay, good.
Anything really.
Well, I got to tell you though, President Patty has a really nice ring to it. I mean, it's hard to turn that one down. So
that's true.
President Patty of the Oregon Pit Crew with us today. So, I did want to ask too, and you and I were talking about this a little bit during the break. Now that the students are back on campus, and for you and a lot of your classmates, I just feel for you because it's been such an odd time with the pandemic. So give us like the nuts and bolts breakdown. Like, this is the Pit Crew. This is what's happening.
All right, so there's the Pit Crew, the whole student section, and there's the organization called the Pit Crew, which is what's active on social media all the time. We meet every Tuesday. Obviously, to join the Pit Crew, it's super easy. Like, some people have stuff during meetings. You don't even need to go to meetings. You kind of just show up to games, and, like, everybody kind of gets to know you. We usually sit in the front for just about everything. I mean, I'm pretty easy to spot in the front with the big chain.
Look for the chain.
Yeah. That's where the Pit Crew always is. We meet every Tuesday, 6:30, Lawrence Hall, 177. Even today, we're meeting. Anyone is welcome. There's lots of cool. We have lots of different leadership opportunities now. We have a planning committee because we're trying to plan like watch parties and maybe even a 3v3 tournament and other stuff. We have a research and information committee, which researches a lot of very useful information about opposing players and teams that we can use to
It's the best part.
How do I phrase to let the players know, like, hey, I know this about let them know nicely, obviously.
That's right.
But very loudly. We have lots of cool opportunities. Everybody, I mean, I'm sure most of the people listening are what's your demographic? Like, who listens to the show? Like,
it's a wide-ranging audience. Wide-ranging Duck fan audience. The one consistent point is they tend to root for Oregon. Yeah. So tell me more about this committee.
We actually just started it. We have somebody in the marketing department that just got hired, and he told us what Duke did. They have like these dirt sheets, they called them. They print them out. We're trying to work on getting ours printed out, but right now we have like 4 people that research that kind of stuff, and just feed it to the Pit Crew, so then they know what to say during the games. They know it's really funny. We found like some players are on. I don't know if you know what Cameo is. Mm-hmm. Some players have been on that, so we've talked about that. Just a lot of stuff. It's really different for every game. You never know what you're gonna find.
That's the magic of a good student section. Your favorite sign that you can share.
Oh, my favorite.
Because I gotta say, like, sometimes the signs when I look in the Pit Crew, I just laugh. And that's what you're going for, right? You want to be a little bit of a distraction.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's my personal goal, is just annoy anyone and everyone involved with the other team. It doesn't even have to be a player. It can be just a coach, one of the students, like, sitting on the bench in the full sweatsuit, handing out water, anyone. I think last year the UConn game was one of my favorites, like, just for so many reasons. They had a sign. I don't know if there was the Push and Pee meme that was really popular in the beginning of 2020. So we wrote UConn is not P on the whiteboard, and we had so many people adding us like, what is this? Like, what does that mean? And that was really funny because we had to reply to a lot of people.
That's great. See, that's encouraging engagement. See, that's well done. Now, for someone who is self-proclaimed not big on social media, worked out for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that works out. All right. What else should fans know? I mean, like, what's next for the Pit Crew? As you guys kind of, I don't want to say relaunch, but I guess in some ways you are kind of relaunching some of the old initiatives.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I became president, we spent like a good 2 months trying to figure out where our budget was. Like, I knew nothing going in. So we can only go up from here. Like, we had 10 members. We had 10 members at the end of last year. We got like 60 now. It's probably going to keep growing with every freshman class. So, I mean, I think our next big thing is to kind of get more students engaged at games, because, I don't know, we have a lot of students sit during timeouts, like, especially behind the basket. They just kind of are chilling during the whole game, and we'd love to get them up. Like, I remember when I came up for games during the Final Four men's basketball run, like, the whole student section was on their feet going crazy every game. Or not every game, but, like, especially the big ones. So we want to get that going. it's hard when you're not playing quite at a Final Four level, but I mean, our job as a student section should be to bring that Final Four energy every game, no matter how the team is playing, and that's my goal.
You can make a difference. I mean, I'm telling you from experience, and this is true even when the Ducks have gone on the road and it hasn't gone Oregon's way, and I see the way that a home crowd can impact it. So I love that you say that, because that does make a huge difference. And support them when they're not winning, and then when they are winning, it makes it even sweeter. That's how I've always felt.
Exactly. I feel the same way, and there's been some fun moments this year though, even though it's been a little up and down. But I think I'm excited for this upcoming this homestand, these two games this week.
Yeah, Colorado, Utah. What should we expect without giving too much away? Because you can't tell us what's on the dirt sheet for Colorado, right?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, we haven't even fully made it yet, and a lot of the stuff I don't use the dirt sheet that much just because I see something that the player's doing and I just yell at them for that over and over again. And that I've gotten a lot of funny responses from just that. But
right.
I think at least in the very front, the pit crew section of the pit crew, you're gonna expect a lot really loud, really rowdy. We know how big every game is for all, men's and women's at this point. Especially with seeding coming up for the women and being on the bubble a little bit, or kind of off the bubble but trying to get back on the bubble for the men. So just expect it, bringing it. I can never really expect or foresee what kind of signs we make or what we yell during the games, but just expect energy.
Takes creativity and that energy. Also, our guy Scott walks in front of you a lot, and you're on the highlights, that makes our job fun.
Sweet.
So when I yell really loud when Dante dunks on Kirk Risa, then you guys are on that video.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Oh, of course, anytime.
We need that throughout the course of an entire year. Well, President Patty, thanks for being here, buddy.
Hey, thank you for having me. Hopefully I'll be around for another year, so if you ever need somebody to talk more pit crew,
you got it.
Know where to find me.
I expect to see you at Matthew Nine Arena, PK Park, Pepe Field, Student Tennis Center, Hayward Field, maybe even out at a golf course one of these days.
I'd love to make it happen. I got to find the golf course.
It depends on which golf course they're playing at, but
just any golf. Does it have to be one they're playing at, or can I just go cheer on random people and you might
could
be
do
there?
That too.
Okay.
I would not be there. I'm the one that drives the golf cart.
Oh.
I'm historically an awful golfer. Good mini golfer. Terrible at hitting fairways. Alex Simpson can confirm. Confirmed. Yeah.
Well, next time you're at the mini golf course, if you need somebody to heckle you, I'm your guy.
Okay.
I'm your guy.
Can't say that I've ever had a heckler at mini golf, but I'm willing to try it out. Patty, thanks for coming over.
Thank you for having me, Joey. I appreciate it.
We're going to get a break, come back, go through the schedule for the week because there's a lot going on here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, the official 2022 Oregon football trading cards are now available exclusively at your local Oregon Jackson's food stores. The cards feature over 100 of your favorite Duck football student athletes from the 2022 season. Each pack contains 14 cards, and 1 out of every 10 packs will contain a special edition signed card, so be sure to collect them all to complete your set. Visit Jacksons.com for store locations.
Jacksons. Let's go.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready for our little forest adventure?
Yes! So much waiting for me. Yeah, I wanna go outside. I wanna be.
We're here.
Whoa, that was fast.
There's a forest closer than you think. Find a park or forest near you and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by USDA Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
So I have this vision now, as we welcome you back inside the Country Financial Studio, of going to a mini golf course with the entire Oregon pit crew out in full force, and then it's like a collection of anywhere from 6 to 50-year-olds that are out there golfing, and they're just picking up on, you know, different habits. And yeah, I just can't unsee this now from my vision. And so we might have to do a fundraiser. Like, let's make it happen. Like a mini golf fundraiser for the pit crew. You know, they gotta have a budget for their signs. They gotta have a budget for their Sharpies. They gotta have a budget to replace the O chain. What else do they need a budget for? A chef's hat, more whiteboards. What else does the pit crew need? Shirts, custom shoes. I'm just saying, I think we're on to something here. And you know who would win the mini golf tournament? And Casey Martin, Derek Radley, they're not eligible. I think Terry Johns might actually win the mini golf tournament. How's your mini golf game? Haven't done it in a while because, you know, he can actually golf and hit fairways, unlike me. I think Alex Stimson would give it a good run. You know, I feel like Alex is the one that would probably figure out how to stop the windmill. You know? Like, the windmill would stop and it'd be like, Alex, how'd you do that? And just, you know, he'd find a way. In any case, thanks to Patty for coming over and talking a little pit crew with us. That was fun. So the Ducks anticipating a good home weekend for Oregon men's basketball. Meanwhile, the women are on the road, and I wanted to go through the schedule for you as we wrap up the show today. 6 o'clock on Thursday, Oregon against Colorado at Matthew Knight Arena. Pac-12 Network for the TV broadcast. I will have a 5:30 pregame show here on the Oregon Sports Network. Utah in town at 5 o'clock on Saturday, also on Pac-12 Network for the men. And then for the Oregon women, 7 o'clock in Berkeley on Friday. Terry Johns will have the call for you starting at 6:30. Then a big one, 1 o'clock on Sunday against Stanford for the Oregon women on the Bay Area road trip right after the men's team was just on that Bay Area road trip. Women's tennis and men's tennis both in action this weekend as well. Track and field, 2 different venues. That's the schedule for the weekend. Duck Insider tomorrow, Tip-Off Tuesday coming up.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Did you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes